Hey guys, welcome to week 12, the last week of this semester. Excellent work getting this far. You guys should be really proud of yourselves for being so motivated and for getting everything done on time and being on top of all your assignments. I've been really pleased with you guys this semester. You guys have done a lot of quality work and have really gone the extra mile to make sure that you're staying on top of things. Okay, so what this video is going to do is it's going to cover kind of like looking forward at kind of what each day or section of the week should consist of for you guys as you complete these assignments. So starting with a quick review, though, by now you should have my comments back on everything except for maybe your PowerPoint presentations. The reason for that is I wanted to get you all my feedback on the things that you actually needed to write project for. And so you should have, my notes on your literature review, on your introduction, et cetera, et cetera. So email me if you have any questions on those, or if you have problems seeing my comments, or if you have problems understanding my comments. If you didn't get anything back, check your email, because I probably emailed you and said that, I know some of you uploaded like corrupt files to Blackboard that wouldn't let me open them. So please check your email, make sure that I got everything from you, and because that could be why there's a problem. Okay, so this week then, as you'll see on our schedule right here, you'll notice that it's pretty much wide open except for obviously finishing your project 4. So let's talk about what you should be doing. So far you've got a draft of your introduction done for project 4. You've got your literature review, which is a huge section. And you've got a sense of the proposal that you want to make, right? So the work that you should be doing now is to be finishing up your proposal section where you explain what your proposal is and how you would accomplish it, the kind of methodology, and the section in which you discuss any limitations or the feasibility of your project. So again, if you're thinking about, for example, how to get more gender balance in nursing, for example, more men in nursing, and you propose your idea, explain how you would go about making this idea a possibility, and then think about, like, okay, what would be a problem that I would have to overcome trying to make this thing happen. Okay, and that's the entire proposal. Okay, so for this week then you should be working on that. And as you'll notice, on Friday, if you email me anytime before Friday evening with a draft of Project 4, I'll give you extensive feedback on it. Now, I do this because you don't really have a chance to get feedback from your peers this time because of the nature of the semester. So I'm happy to look at drafts, as many drafts as you want over the course of the week, and I will get them back to you very quickly. So then by Sunday, you should have uploaded your Project 4, and that will be your final major assignment. Okay. So what I wanted to do real quick was just to take another look at the rubric for Project 4, just to make sure you guys were very clear about what I'll be looking for. So let's take a look at each section of the rubric. So this is literally how I'll be grading Project 4. The introduction, you introduce the topic, define any key terms if we need to, provide a roadmap. And so all we mean here is, are you saying, this is what I'm going to do in this literature review, because you're going to be covering that section. So like, what is the purpose of your literature review? What is the purpose of each section of the essay? Are you using any research to help kind of situate some context? Most of you are already doing this in your introduction, so I'm glad to see that. And then a clear research objective or statement. Like, this is what I'm going to accomplish by doing this project. So literature review. So again, this is just going to be essentially like my third or fourth look at your literature review at this point. Are you doing all the things that you're already doing in your literature review? And so take a look at my notes on your lit review. So if you need to address some concerns there, you can do that. Methodology and methods. So do you cite secondary research? Again, are you using sources to help support your idea, your proposal, about why it would be a good idea? So for example, I propose that we do this, and then do you kind of reference other sources from your literature review, for example, that are kind of doing similar things, and talk about how you are doing similar things? Are you bridging off of them? Are you disagreeing with them and doing something new? Or are you continuing a thread of research? And are your methods like realistic? Are they validated? Are they appropriate for your community? So for example, if you're talking to if you're talking to like a group of doctors, we're going to go out and do this study, right? Is the proposal something within the realm of possibility for that community? proposal discussion. Do you provide clear scaffolded details that enable other members of your community to replicate the research? So all we're talking about here is like, are you very clear and descriptive about how you go about accomplishing this thing? So I propose that we do this. And to do this, we would do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Okay, so this is all going to be conjecture, but it's something that I want you to think about. So I propose that we roll healthcare into tuition. To do this, I propose that we talk to the Board of Regents, get a series of petitions going around, put it into the bylaws, whatever it is, like step 1, 2, 3, 4. And then do you discuss in detail like how this is like how this solution would solve the problem, any problems that would come up trying to propose your solution, and what are some like limitations, and then obviously organization and all that stuff. So again, just to recap, an introduction that it's giving me kind of a clear look at what your paper is going to be like, a literature review that provides me a lot of good detail about the different sources talking about this topic, the methods that you'll be using to do this, and then your proposal. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Okay, so if you send me a draft by Friday, I'm happy to look at that and give you any notes in regard to that. Now, the last thing that I want to look at is this reflective letter. So this is going to be essentially your final exam. And so all this is, and I explained this in last week's video too, it's just kind of a recap of your work this semester. So let's take a look at the prompt itself. All I'm looking for is for you to spend some time brainstorming and just thinking about how this course has helped to produce changes in your knowledge, skills, and practices. Right, so how has this course changed you as a writer, as a researcher, as a student, whatever it is? And you're going to write this in the form of a letter. And so this is going to feel a little bit weird, but think about like a letter that you would write to your friend. So like, Dear Mr. Shumway. And then you would just kind of talk me through your experiences. And the reason we have you do this kind of like weird letter form is because it can help like generate like that kind of reflective tone of voice. It shouldn't feel as like academic and scaffolded as like an essay. This can be very personal, lots of first person, things like that. And then here's some examples that you could do. You may choose to emphasize whatever skills, behaviors, and knowledge you wish, but keep in mind that the objective of the letter of the following guidelines must be met. So these are the things that you have to do. Okay, so you're writing a letter to me talking about your experiences, but you have to do these 3 things. Make a direct reference to at least 2 of the projects you wrote this semester, one of which must be the research proposal you're working on now. You may also reference any other informal writing we've done. What this means is that you're going to be actually using your work this semester as evidence to talk about this. So for example, if you're talking about like you've grown as a researcher, then I'm going to want you to talk to me about, what projects that really helped you grow as a researcher, and give me examples from your projects. So like you're going to be actually quoting your projects. So for example, you might say like, I don't know why I'm typing it here. Show you. So like in project 4, I learned how to, right, so like you're going to actually be learned how to, whatever, use the library. For example, I wrote, and then quote, so that's essentially what it'll look like. You'll introduce your quote just like always, telling me that this is a product that you grew and developed a particular skill. You'll give me examples from your own projects, like you'll be quoting yourself, and then for like an in-text citation, you'll just be using the title of the project. So the other thing you have to do, have a clear goal and a reflection. In other words, be clear about what you feel like you've achieved and how the work you've done has produced changes in your writing. So this is going to be essentially like, you can think of it as like a thesis statement, like just laying out like your clear terms for the reflective letter. Like throughout the semester, I have grown as a researcher, or throughout the semester, I have learned new skills of brainstorming and pre-writing, whatever it is. And then you would give me examples of those. And then this workshop thing, this is kind of a holdover from an in-class, face-to-face meetings of 3010. So don't worry about this, but I am happy to talk with you guys about anything like this. This is from when this was less of a final exam and more of a project. So don't worry about number 3 so much, but number 1 and 2 have to be there. So you have to reference at least 2 projects, one of which is project 4, and you have to have a clear outlined goal or thesis. All right, so just to recap, this week you will continue to work on project 4, finish it up and submit it by Sunday, send me a final draft by Friday and I'll give you any feedback, and then turn around and start thinking about that final reflective letter. All right, guys, I will be making frequent videos this week. Probably I'll have another one up on Wednesday, just checking in with any tips or anything like that. Obviously, feel free to set up a Skype conversation with me. We can talk about that, or we can do it via email, whatever you want. But I am here if you guys need me, and I will talk to you later.